Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about maximizing your main stat, getting absolutely as much value as you can from things like artifact, Zodiac cards, and stuff like that. So obviously the first thing you're going to have is your equipment. You're just kind of shooting for that highest rarity you can. I think it is definitely possible to get higher main stat from Peerless gear, so I'm getting 9.4 here. And 8.6 here. So if you're at the point where you're grinding Origin gear, you definitely probably should set your filter to Peerless. The difference is my gloves, you can see they're level 130, and my helmet is level 152. So that's really what makes the biggest difference in your level. So grinding up your level higher to get higher level gear, Peerless can sometimes be better than Origin, believe it or not. So that's something to take note. And of course, you also have the +5 to your enhancing gear. So gloves are my main focus as an ER build. They're going to increase my ER every 5 levels. CMB, you have your weapon, blah, blah, blah. I've talked about this a lot before. Just something to take note of if you want to maximize. You definitely should be upgrading the rest of your gear for base stats. They're not quite as important. You should prioritize your gloves if you're ER, but yeah, definitely don't super hard focus. You want to upgrade your other stuff as well. So now we've got artifacts. You want to shoot for red artifacts. They're not very difficult to get a hold of. I've gotten plenty of them in my time during playing. It's not difficult. You just want to make sure that it has the stat, your main stat. And you also want to make sure when you upgrade your artifact that it upgrades that main stat. So red artifacts, they're going to have 3 different stats besides base. So this one has CMB, but it's not upgrading the other stats, or at least not quite as much. So I got a little bit of crit damage, but it looks like it's kind of doing dual. But things like this, it's only upgrading your CTA. Just pay attention when you upgrade your artifact and make sure that ER can get at least up to 20%. That's kind of the minimum that you want to have, at least for purifying for sure. If it's your main artifact and the highest ER you're able to get is like 16%, use it, of course. But 20 is kind of a good number. You want to shoot for 25, something like that. So yeah, and when it is time to purify your artifacts, you can add a second or a third ER stat to your artifact. Make sure that the food that you're using, the food artifact, is going to be max level again, so that you have the highest amount of ER you can get when you do transfer it. So you'll see here, yeah, you're going to need a purifying stardust, which is available in the guild store, of course, right here. And it requires a guild level 5. And yeah, you'll be able to swap that over. On a side note, of course, you want to hold on to all of the other red artifacts you get so that you can get as much value from your treasure house as you possibly can. It's just going to make it a lot easier to upgrade your food artifact to max level when the time does come to purify. Cool. Another thing actually to note is the upgrade here, which I haven't used at all yet, but if you have an artifact of the duplicate name, you can upgrade it and increase the attributes of certain pieces of gear. Someone might have to let me know for sure. I'm not sure if attributes of the gloves includes things like your ER stat. It might just be for base stats. I'm not sure. Yeah, I just can't tell you for sure, so it'd be great if someone could leave a comment and let me know. I've never used it before. Secret stones, you can't increase your main stat with secret stones at all, so there's no reason to go over it. Same thing with pets, you're just not going to increase your character's stats at all. For Zodiac cards, you have polish and added attribute, and you'll be able to polish using these star stones. Yeah, so just keep rolling until you get whatever your main stat is. So I've got 18.3% ER. And if you hit the magnifying glass here, you can see what the max possible percent you can get is. So for my red Gemini, it's going to be between 15 and 19%. So 18.3 is a very good number. I'm just going to hang out there for a while. If I had like 200 star stones, I'd probably keep rolling and try and get that closer to 19. But that 0.7% just isn't going to make a huge difference for me right now. So yeah, you've got your Trove hunt. So there are two different things you can do here. So for one, you want to grind out your pyro gems as much as possible. For every main stat, there's going to be a pyro for it, which is the only gem that will give you double main stats. I'm getting double ER. I'm getting like 10% from each. And you want to pay attention to the map that you're using when you're hunting. So the Pride map is going to be the kind of the main one. That's just for CMB and ER. And it also has a stone gem for crit, if you're going crit for some reason. And yeah, so if you're not going CMB or ER and you're running CTA or stun, then you're going to want to be on the Wrath map for these pyro gems. And just try and fill up your gem collection as much as possible. Now you kind of have the choice afterwards to grind for these other gems, which is what I'm doing right now. Trying to get these resistance stones a little higher, just get better stats. You see my Nemo, get my attack up a little bit. You know, I might probably should be using defense, I'm not sure, but I think attack is probably solid for me. So I'm just changing the map up to grind for whatever gems I need. The other way you can increase your ER through the Trove hunt is with the Trove Gallery. So you're going to get, I guess they're called achievements or something for discovering certain gems. So if you are running the Envy map and you get the Hydro of Peace, Geo of Elegance, and the Hydro of Elegance, you're going to just gain 2.5% ER for free, basically. Not every single one of these maps is going to have your main stat on it. Like this one probably doesn't even, oh, it's got 2.5 there. But yeah, just take a look at this. Once you're kind of late game and you've already gotten all your pyro gems maxed out, maybe just grind out some of the other maps. You know, I could grind out the Envy map, get this Geo of Elegance, 2.5% free ER. So just something to take note of for sure. Now we've got companions. Every companion is going to increase a certain stat more than others. So Cyrus for ER gives me 13% at the current max level I have. If you're not going ER, here's Saruman for CTA. If you're going CTA, you want to max him out first to increase that stat. And yeah, I think Jessica for CMB. Yep. So that's another way you can boost up your main stat a lot. Just pay attention to which one you're upgrading. Once you have them maxed out, you can upgrade the rest just for base stats. You know, I'm getting HP attack from this. Yeah, something to take note of. And I believe the last thing would be your Evergreen Courtyard, which is it's a very, very late game thing. I think you unlock it at level 135. So it's definitely for late game stuff. I'm just kind of getting into it. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to need to soon. I'm only getting 4% ER. Once I get it upgraded and I have gotten a boost to every single stat, then it'll cycle back and I'll be able to get more ER from it. Whether it's 2% or 4%, I'm not sure. But that's going to be one of the best ways to grind late game for a higher main stat percentage. So as far as I know, those are all of the ways you can completely maximize the amount of ER, CMB, whatever your main stat is. So I hope this was helpful to you guys, and maybe you'll learn something new even as a more seasoned player. I know a lot of people do not know about the Trove Gallery. A lot of people don't mess with that, so maybe that was something new to you. So I appreciate you guys watching, and if you have any video requests for me, anything you'd like me to cover, go over, feel free to leave it in the comments. Sometimes it can be a little difficult for me to come up with any ideas, to be honest. the game can be very straightforward for the most part, but you know, there's always going to be something that I haven't talked about, or maybe something I missed in another video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and have a good one.